So from day one in that relationship, to a certain degree, her mother, she hated me. Yeah, her mother didn't like me. She hated it.
And why would you say she would hate you?
Oh, so true that the police officer couldn't go back to the CPS and said, yeah, look, we got a case against him.
Yeah.
I'm saying. So when the judge heard that, she was like, well, so cool. All right, so now I'm going to my son's school and I'm communicating with the school saying, look, I'm coming to pick up my son on this day, but is everything cool? And they're saying, look, unfortunately, but she stated that. And I said, well, listen, I've got a court order that states that. As I've turned, I know that he's coming. I just literally put my hand up. Next minute, the man's grabbed my arm and said, you pushed me, that's assault.
Do you feel that she's bringing next man to the house after hours of night and your son's in the yard?
I'm not gonna lie, I saw red. So
let me ask you a question though.
Go on.
Why do you seem to keep on putting yourself back in these kind of situations when you know what she's capable of doing?
I'll be honest with you.
What's going on, people, and welcome back to the Baby Fathers podcast for another brand new episode. I'm your host, and I'm going by the name of DJ Ridler. First things first, you know what I'm going to say to you, innit? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you need to do it right now, okay? So on today's show, we have another special guest, and he goes by the name of Banks.
Good evening, Ridler.
I want to say thank you for coming on today's show.
My pleasure.
All right, so you know I have to put a disclaimer out there. Anything what you say is your truth, and it's your truth only.
Sure is.
All right? All right, cool. So, you know, we're going to start from the beginning, from your situation.
Before I start with my situation, I really want to, I want you to do something for me. I want you to do something for me.
What's that?
And we put your right arm up, palm up, and we put it over your shoulder and pat yourself on the back.
Okay.
Yeah, go on. You and all the guys associated with the Baby Father podcast, I salute you.
Thank you, my brother.
Because I think you underestimate the power of what it is that you are projecting. You know, because there's guys out there, I'm sure and I'm positive, that are going through this process, and just by seeing your podcast, hearing other guys' stories, I'm saying they're getting a clearer understanding or path through the process. So I salute you, man.
Respect, my bro, yeah? Respect for that, my brother.
You've done well.
All right, thank you. So let's get to the dance now.
Okay, let's do the dance.
All right, so let's start. So you have 3 kids.
I'm blessed to have 3 kids.
Okay, and with 3 kids, you have 2 of one mother.
Yes.
What's the age of them 2?
My son is 27 and my daughter is 22.
And the last one?
My son has just turned 9.
Okay, so that's 2 of one lady and 1 of the next.
Yeah.
And how is it with the first mother?
Through going through this process, one of the things I had to do was go on a what they call a caring dads course. Yeah, and certain elements of the caring dads course makes you reflect on, I'm saying, your relationship with your partner or ex and so forth. And I'll never forget, I was sitting in a course one day, and it hit me. When I came out of the course, I phoned my baby mother, the first one, and I phoned her, and I just had to give her props and big her up. Because the beautiful relationship I have with my elder son and my elder daughter, that was to a certain degree down to her, down to the 2 of us, but down to her making a conscious decision to say, you know what, even though we've separated, let's put our kids first. And boy, yeah, I salute her. I'm grateful to God because, boy, as I said, the relationship I have with my previous partner and my 2 kids is blessed, man. It's blessed. I can call her a friend.
All right, so then let's talk about mother 2. How was that situation?
Woo! So, it's 2005.
All right, we'll start from the beginning of that one then, yeah?
Yeah, 2005 now. I've just broken up with my first baby mother, the mother of my first 2 kids. We've just broken up. So, I was at a stage of going through reflection and trying to kind of not find myself, but, you know, really kind of, reflection to a certain degree. So even though the industry that I was working within, I've been there for many years, I said, no, I needed a change. I needed something different. And one thing that I was really interested in was personal training. So anyway, I embarked on a personal training course, and she was one of the other pupils.
Personal trainer as well?
Learning to be a personal trainer.
Got you.
Yeah, so we was on the course together. So I remember in our first few interactions saying to her, look, I'm not really, for one, I just come out of a relationship. So I wasn't really looking nothing at that stage. I was more kind of focused on myself, for one. And for two, I remember stating to her on many occasions, look, I'm saying if I am going to get involved in anything, it's got to be serious. You know? I think one of the issues for me was the fact that she pursued me. And I've never been pursued like that before. So it was a bit flattering.
So what do you mean saying when you hear pursued, what kind of stuff?
I've never really been a guy to kind of, I don't like chasing or running after a woman. I like it when you're into somebody and it's mutual.
Okay.
You both know where you stand. You know what I'm saying? But on this occasion, I think she was...
Very forward?
Yeah, she was before me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She had reached that point where she was like, yeah, this is the guy I want. I want him and it's him I want. Anyway, 2005. So we kind of started embarking on this relationship now. As I said, there was a couple of red flags along the way, which I really should have picked up on. But
what was the red flags? Sorry.
Oh, okay. When I first met her, the relationship that she had with her mother, with her family, or mainly with her mum, was something that I could only class as toxic.
Okay.
I've never seen it before. You know what I'm saying.
And when you're saying them shouting at each other, the way they talk to each other.
Okay, so this is, they're a family of millionaires.
Okay.
So let's get, you know what I'm saying? So she had grown up with a very privileged lifestyle, you know, but the control that her mother had over her, I had never seen nothing like that before. I'm saying it was as if, I mean, she was in her late 20s when I met her, but the relationship she had with her mother is like she was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? So it was slightly toxic. So from day one in that relationship to a certain degree, her mother, she hated me. Yeah, her mother didn't like me. She hated me.
And why would you say she would hate you?
They had a house in Barbados and a house in Spain.
Okay.
Yeah? So every Easter, bam, they'll fly off to Spain. And every summer holidays, bam, they'll fly off to Barbados.
Okay.
So it got to the stage where her mother said to her, look, you know what? If you're with him, then basically, no, he's not allowed in any of the family establishments. I'm saying can't go to the house in Spain, can't go to the house in...
So even you're her partner,
yeah,
they wouldn't allow you?
No.
So why was the mum like so... This guy is not allowed. What kind of vibe was she getting from you? Why she feels she had to say something like this?
I think there was a number of reasons. And I remember she moved into a property in Battersea, and she got a job working in North London. So I would drive her from Battersea to North London, like, boy, 6 o'clock in the morning, so she could be to the job in time.
So was you not living together at this stage?
So we were more or less, we were living together at the stage.
Okay.
And I remember her mum said to her, because it was her mum and sister that got the flat.
Yeah.
And her mum said to her, well, listen, if you're seeing him, you pay your own rent. But her sister, who was staying there also, her mum was paying her rent. I'm saying. So there was a blatant kind of discrimination towards me. I'm saying she was punishing her daughter for being with me. But I saluted the girl for standing her ground. Yeah. She said, no. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the fight that she's up against, she said, no, that's the guy I want to be with. And she stood her ground. So together 10 years, there had been a couple of breakups and reconciliations, reconnections and breakup and reconnections. There have been a couple over the 10 years. So cool. And then we kind of broke up, and then bam, I remember sitting at home one day, got a phone call. I said, yeah, well, it's because we weren't really communicating. Anyway, I got a phone call. She said, yeah, you want to come round. I said, all right, cool. Came round. Anyway, went in the bathroom, looked, what I say, so pregnancy test. Yeah, bam, oh yeah, she's pregnant, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I'm a man where one of my major achievements in this life is my kids. I mean, the relationship I've got with my elder son and my elder daughter, that in itself makes me a millionaire to a certain degree.
100.
Financially, I might not be on their level, but the relationship that I got with them, because the relationship that her mum had with her kids, she controlled them. Yeah, she controlled them. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm there with her, innit, throughout the pregnancy. When she went and told her mum that she was pregnant for me, her mum said to her, oh, that child inside you's going to be evil. It's going to be evil.
But why would she say that?
That's how much her mum despised me. But I've got to give her mum a certain level of accolade, or give her props, because there are certain people who dislike you and they still do that, hi, you're right.
So they're being fake,
and do the false fake smile thing, I'm saying. But she hated me from day one, and she never, even the couple of times that we were in contact, very few, I think maybe only 2 or 3 times over the 10 years that we was in contact together, but she never really, obviously she'll be amicable, but she didn't really flinch. And I respected that, because at least you knew who she was and where she was coming from.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So it didn't surprise me when my ex came back and said to me, yeah, she came back in bits and pieces. She came back broken. I'm saying it was like Humpty Dumpty. Boy, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again, but I had to put her back together.
All right, so when she got pregnant, because at the time you broke up, did you not actually get back together?
We did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Continue.
Once she said she's pregnant, you know what I'm saying, I kind of committed to a certain degree. Cool. 2 weeks later, after I put all the pieces back together, she went back to her mum's, because she's very connected to her family. You know what I'm saying? To the degree where her mum is, even though they're millionaires, but her mum's the one who controls the purse strings. Yeah. So you have to toe the line to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So 2 weeks later, she went back. She came back even more broken than she was the first time. Because her mum said to her, yeah, you know what, why don't you get an abortion and I'll pay for IVF for you? So the nature and the whole toxicity of the whole family and the whole, I'm saying, the fact that I wasn't allowed to any of the family establishments did not bother me the least. Yeah. For one, I'm not really a materialistic person. And 2, I'm not fake. My face, unfortunately, doesn't lie. I can't hide.
All right, so you've been with each other for 10 years. You've now had a child. You've been an active father. Even still the parents don't like you. What happened from there?
Right, so this is where it all started. So one day now, so they had been away. I think it was, funny enough, I think she had gone to France to go see one of her friends. Okay. But anyway, I remember picking them up at the airport and coming back, and things were a little bit, I can't remember. The
vibe wasn't right.
Yeah, because one of the major issues between me and her was child rearing, raising our son. Yeah, because as you remember, as I said, but I'd already had 2 other kids. I'd been around raising them. I'd been involved in that process totally. And then all of a sudden now, I'll be saying, oh, yeah, let's try this. And then she'll be telling me, oh, well, Google says that. And I'm like, maybe I heard it once. I heard it twice. To the stage I had to be asking, since when is Google the foremost authority in child rearing in this house? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we had clashes in parenting style. And she really, as I said, I saw problems coming. So
what problems did you see ahead now? So what problems started happening?
Okay, so let me start at the beginning. Or start right where the problem started. Yeah. So it's 2015, yeah? She'd been away to France. Cool. So that Saturday, I said, right, it's me and my son all day. So in the morning, got him ready, bam, we were off. We went soft play. I'm saying we went out, had lunch together. He was only like 2, this is 2015. He's 2.5. Yeah, gone soft play. I got pictures of the day. I had him in the swings. I'm saying we went out and had our day. I'm saying plenty of pictures of him laughing and smiling, because when we were together, that's how we were. Cool. When brought him back home, bam, as I opened the door, her mum and her mum's boyfriend were in the flat. Okay. Now that instantly, my spider senses said, because her mum never came to the flat. Okay. And if she did, it would be on an occasion where I'll be at work and she'll say, oh, my mum came round today. But her mum would always come round when I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? All right, but as I said, we're living together at this stage and I remember when I was giving him a bath, when he finishes up, pulled him into the bedroom to give him his bath, the mum came into the bedroom. First, my ex-partner came into the bedroom, and then the mother came into the bedroom. I'm taking my son's clothes off, and she said to me, yeah, I'm going to bath him today. And I've got an issue with being given commands. Okay. So asking me something and commanding me, giving me a command to do something, it's 2 totally different things. But anyway, I remember thinking to myself, bite your tongue, regardless of what, that's his grandmum. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't say anything. So I took my son's clothes off, and then bam, she picked up my son, and then her and my ex went into the bathroom. Now, the bathroom was tiny in that flat. And one thing I remember is that all the years that we've been living in that flat, unless it was her alone in the shower or me alone in the shower, that's the only time we would close the door. Yeah. If we were ever bathing our son, we would never close the door. We would leave the door open. I'm saying. So anyway, they all 3 of them went in there, the door closed. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Interesting. So after about 10 minutes, I said, how can I be living here and feel like I'm you know what I'm saying? I feel like
you feel uneven in your own house.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I got to stop right there. Boom. Yeah. Technically, it was her flat that we were living in. We've been living together for all these years, but it was her flat. You know what I'm saying? But okay, cool. Which her mum had bought for her. Yeah? All right, cool. But I'm still thinking to myself, I live here. Why should I feel uncomfortable? Boom. I said to myself, right. True, the mum and the mum's boyfriend was here and my ex, I said, boom. And we had maybe argued, as I said, maybe before she went on holiday, so the vibe wasn't great. I said, you know what, I'm going out. Loudest. Boom. So, grabbed my jacket. Yeah, boom. Didn't say nothing to nobody. I just said, yeah, boom. So I'm out of here. Boom. Went through the front door. Yeah, jumped in my car. Boom. Started driving down the road. I was going to go and visit a friend. Got about 5 minutes down the road. As I doubled back to the property, I parked up outside, and just as I parked up outside, then the front door. So, yeah, cool. I've parked the car, got to the big steps. Just as I got to the steps, I saw the mum's boyfriend open the front door and he had bags in his hand. So even though me and him don't talk, I'm sure we got no interaction per se. I ran up the stairs and I held the door open for him, thinking he was coming out. Yeah. And then he shouted to his partner, my son's grandmother. He said, so-and-so, I would wait a minute if I was you. I would wait a minute. I didn't really pay no mind to it. So anyway, I've run up the stairs, front door was open. So I've gone straight into the bedroom. I have grabbed my jumper. Cool. Doubled back, coming out the front, back out the front door. As I'm going through the front door, there's a chair right by the front door. And just as I'm going through the front door, I saw my son's favourite blanket was on the chair. Yeah? And boom, I've gone through and I stopped. I thought, huh? I doubled back, I looked, I saw the blanket. I thought, what's that doing there? So, I've gone into my son's bedroom. The light's off. My ex is standing right in front of his cot. And it was only, so basically I've walked in the bedroom, yeah, she's standing, I see the back of her, but when I tilt my head, my son is standing in his cot with his coat on. So I said to her, what's going on? Are you going somewhere? She didn't respond to me. I asked her 3 times. She didn't respond. And I give thanks and praises to the Most High because, boy, certain times in life we do certain things and we don't understand why we do them, but everything is for a reason. So all of a sudden I said to myself, no, look, take your phone out, start recording. So I took my phone out, started recording the interaction. So I said to you, going somewhere? She said, no. And then she walked, no, she didn't even say nothing. She just walked out the room. She didn't say no, she walked out the room. So I've taken my son out the cot, bam, I've unzipped his jacket, yeah, put it back, and I'm saying, sure. And I remember I walked into the corridor, grabbed his blanket. So he had a beanbag by his bed. So I'm sitting down on the beanbag, by his cot. I'm sitting on the beanbag, wrapped my son in his blanket. I'm trying to put him back to sleep. Cool. Bam. Light goes on. The mum's partner, my ex's mum's partner and her mum both walk in a room. Now, this guy, it was her mum's boyfriend. I remember in the 10 years that I had been with my partner, I had interacted with this guy on 3 occasions. On the first occasion I met him, he was amicable, and he was like, I mean, these are very well-to-do people. Yeah. I'm saying very well-to-do. So, but we communicated. I'm saying as gentlemen, we communicated. Second time I met him, it was evident to me that the fact that his partner, my ex's mum, didn't like me, he has now taken on that same attitude. Yeah. So I saw him, he was a bit spiky. I was like, okay, whatever. It's neither here nor there to me. And then the third time I saw him, same kind of thing. We didn't really speak. So, you know what I'm saying? This is in 10 years. So I was like, okay, keep your distance. So
every time you saw them, would you even say hello to them or they say hello to you?
Mummy brought me up well, you know what I'm saying? So I would always be amicable and respectful. Of course. Because to a certain degree, I still got to look at her like, but she's my elder. She's my partner's mum. I'm saying the light's gone on, the mum's boyfriend's walked in, the mum's walked in, they're both standing there, and he said to me, give the child to the grandmother. So I've looked at him and I'm thinking to myself, huh? I'm a man from road, you know. Yeah. I brought up, as much as mummy brought me up well, but I grew up around the man there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm saying, so he's telling me, yeah, give the child to the grandmother. So
was he saying a lack of attitude?
Hell yes. Okay. I'm saying, so I'm looking at the guy and I'm thinking, what? The way I would normally react. Because I've got my son in my hands. I'm biting tongue now. I'm saying, like, what? I don't even think I said what. I think I'm just looking at him in just disbelief, thinking.
This man never says nothing, but all of a sudden he's chatting.
Yeah, I don't even know you like that. But then you're standing in front of me telling me I must give my child to the who are you again? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, cut a long story short, my ex has walked in, I'm sitting on a beanbag, and then she's grabbed my son. I have got all of this on video. Yeah.
So you've been
Because
filming it the whole
throughout
time?
the whole process, even when only time I stopped filming was when I had my son in my hands.
Okay.
So I said, all right, you know what? Let me say goodbye to my son and then I'll go. The mother, the grandmother and her boyfriend, no, you can't. You said goodnight to him already. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, who are you to tell me I can't say goodnight to my son?
So you never asked them why they...
I didn't even get it. No. I could see. But you know, sometimes I say when you walk into the room and you can cut the atmosphere. Like
Yeah, you can feel it.
The minute I got into the flat, I said, something is going on here. But I didn't... As I said, that was when I was going into the flat. But remember, what's happened now is that they're trying to elope in the middle of the night with my son. And I've just come back and caught them in the middle of the act.
Yeah.
So now they're on the defensive, innit? Because I've caught them smack bang in the middle. Bags are packed. I'm saying he was getting ready to take bags to the car. I'm like, what? What's going on?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I've caught you smack bang in the middle now. So it's getting. I'm saying they're saying to me, yeah, just go. We want to leave. Leave. They take you. Just go. I said, hey, let me say goodnight to my son and go. Not once did I say, I'm not going. So anyway, cut long story short. But then as I've turned, I know that he's coming. I just literally just put my hand up. Next minute, the man's grabbed my arm and said, oh, you pushed me. That's assault. I was like, I know where this is going. But at the same time, I'm videoing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I said, let go of my arm. Blah, blah. I'm calling the police. That's assault.
Can I just ask a question though?
Go on.
If it's supposed to be her house and you moved into her house, why are they running her out of the house? Would they not just tell you to leave the house?
So they had concocted this whole plan.
Okay.
Where technically they were going to leave. I was going to go out. They were going to elope in the middle of the night. I was going to come back. And then what did she say? We were going to communicate from that point onwards.
So you got to downstairs to the door with my man on the arm. He says he's going to call the police.
He's calling some. He's on the phone. He's calling the police. Yeah, bam. I'm thinking, oh, child, what is this all about, man? So I've opened I've put my hand on the living room door. Yeah, there was force there. I didn't know until I got inside that. So I'm not a weak guy. So I've opened the door. I forced it just enough because there's force on the door. So I've opened it just enough for there to be a gap for me to squeeze through. And as I've squeezed through and let go of the door, bam, the door slams shut. I've left the property, and I said to myself, yeah, Mr. B, you know what time it is. Cool. So, cut a long story short, I've driven straight to a police station. Yep.
Straight after that, you went police station.
I've gone straight to a police station, bro. And I said, right, look, this is the situation. Yeah, boom, 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 because the mum's boyfriend, I think he pushed me at one point, and I've got it on video. I'm saying, where he's grabbed my arm and I said, yeah, look, the man's assaulted me, blah, 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 blah. So, so anyway, I'm in the police station, and then the officer said to me, right, what I've got to do now, I've got to find out what the officers from that borough have done before, you know what I'm saying? We've heard your allegation. Like, let me find out what's happened over that side, because I'm in a different borough now. So anyway, about 15 minutes, he came back to me and said, oh, sorry, mate. The allegation of assault has been made against you. So, boy, we got to nick you. So even though I've walked into the police station, but now, boom, I'm under arrest in him.
But if you showed it to them on the phone.
First past the post. She got her allegation in before you, so we have to act on that. And I'm saying, yeah, but look, sorry, mate. So, yeah, okay, whatever. So, nicked me there and then. That was I think it was like a Saturday evening. Held me until the Monday morning. Bail me. Right, taking me out my cell, come to the sergeant's desk. He said, right, yeah, boom. Right, here's the conditions of your bail. You can't go to our house. You can't do this and you can't do that. So I'll never forget it, because it was 3 days before my son's birthday. So I said to the sergeant, I said, I can't stick to them bail conditions. He's like, you what? I said, look, it's my son's birthday. It's his 3rd birthday in a couple of days, and there's no way I'm not seeing my son on his 3rd birthday. I haven't done anything wrong. He said, what? Well, if you're not willing to stick to the bail conditions, then I'm not going to bail you. I said, well, I'm not going to say conditions that I can't stick to. He said, well, boom, that's it. Officer, back in his cell. When they put me back in my cell. I said, all right, cool. So cut a long story short now, what they did is they called my solicitor. Cool, my solicitor's come on the phone to me. Brought me in my cell, solicitor said, look, what's going on? I said, listen, let me tell you something. I'm not missing my son's 3rd birthday. I haven't done nothing wrong, for one. And for two, no way in hell I'm missing my son's 3rd birthday. So she said, all right, let me see what I could do. So she's called her. She turned around and said, they told her, said, listen, They want to bail him and let him go, but he's refusing to go unless, I'm saying, he can have access to his son. So anyway, she's like, well, okay, yeah, all right, boom. I'll let him see his, through my solicitor, the solicitors will communicate, I'll let him see his on his birthday. Cool. Came out, yeah, there was an arrangement for me to be able to see my son a couple of days later on his birthday. Boom. She wrote to my solicitor and said, no, I've changed my mind. He ain't seen him. All right, cool. So that was November. So now I'm writing to her solicitor saying, all right, you know what? I want to see my son. No, you're not seeing your son on this grounds, on this grounds, on this grounds.
All right, can I just stop you? What was the allegations? What was made?
Assault.
Yeah, just on that man?
On
the boyfriend, right?
On the boyfriend and on her.
So where does her assault come into this?
So she said that when I opened the door, that I opened it and banged it open, and then...
But you have all this on camera?
I got the whole thing on video, G. Contact centre started. So I'm starting having contact centre, supervised contact with my son.
So how many months were you not seeing him before you went to contact centre?
October, November, December, January, February. So 3 months.
3 months, okay.
Yeah, cool. So February, I start seeing him. In March is the trial for the assault. Yeah? Bam.
So when you was going to the contact centre, how many hours was you getting to go to the contact centre? And was you paying or was it for free?
Because it was a church, it was cut price. I think I was paying, but it was like £65 or something very reasonable. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I seen him in a contact centre. So this was going on every fortnightly.
How many hours?
And it was, I think it was something like 2 hours originally. Then in March, bang, we got the court case for the assault. Yeah? All right, cool. Remember, I've got my video in it.
Yeah.
So cut a long story short, the mum's boyfriend, he came to court. He said, yeah, he assaulted me. Yeah, he pushed me here, he pushed me there, he kicked me. So my barrister said to him, well, hold on a minute. None of your statements that you've stated previously, you stated that the man kicked you. So where's this come from? Oh yeah, he kicked me. I'll never forget it. My barrister looked at the judge looks at my barrister. They both kind of gave each other a kind of, Anyway, cut long story short, they said, yeah, disregard his evidence, unreliable witness. Okay. So even where he has said that I had assaulted him, it's like, so could you show us the point on the video where there was no assault? You know what I'm saying? He couldn't defend it. So cut long story short, due justice was done and I was found not guilty. Okay. Yeah?
So that's the first case.
So that's the first case.
Second case. With the mum now, because did she not take allegations against you? Or did they
no, I was found not guilty on all charges.
Okay, cool.
Against the mum, no assault on the mum, no assault on not guilty, all charges. Bye-bye, see you later. See my son in a contact centre, bam. Now she's gone to the family court. Yeah. So I think for her and for her family, it was always about control. They wanted to control how, when, to what extent I had interaction with my son. You know what I'm saying? I think it was April, month later. So I just got my not guilty. Yeah, cool. But I'm not surprising because I didn't do anything, as the video showed. Cool. Month later, bam, family court starts now. 6 months. Over the 6 months, it was either 2 or 3 occasions was in the family court.
And did you represent yourself or did you get legal aid?
I represented myself.
Okay.
Because I was like, boy, when you start hearing some of the prices, I was like, well, for starters.
So let me ask you a question. When you went to family court, did you take them to family court or did they take you?
That was her.
So she took you to family court?
Yes.
And what was the allegations? What was she fighting for when she was taking you to family court?
I do believe it was David who said it in here when he was on the show. He said on the podcast, even though I went to the criminal court and was found not guilty, they had now brought all those allegations to the family court to stipulate their argument or to bolster their argument. Now, as David said, when you're in criminal court, the onus of proof is beyond reasonable doubts. You have to prove to the jury, they have to believe you beyond a reasonable doubt, the prosecution have to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Hence, you get found guilty. Okay, in the family court, it's probability. What's the probability of this big black guy assaulting this, this white lady who seems very victimized? I'm saying. And if you play yourself in that role, then courts will see you in that role.
So she was going to court to try and stop all access from you to seeing the child.
She was trying to control the access, towards between me and my son.
Okay.
Yeah? So there were 3 hearings, and the last hearing was a 1 day hearing, 1 day final hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you fighting for though?
I remember
This is what I'm trying to get my head around. What are you fighting for? Because she's taking you to court to stop you from seeing your child, but when you went to family court, what are you fighting for?
because the nature of so what she was trying to state, the case she was trying to put across was, well, look, this guy has assaulted me, and I'm saying he blazed this, that. He's not a decent dad. Don't want him around my son. I'm saying that was her argument.
That's her argument. What was your argument? Because you're going into court. What are you going to court for? You presented that you wanted from the court to get access to see your child.
I'm trying to remember how that hearing, that contact order that was made, I was green at that stage. This is me fresh in the process. So I didn't know nothing about position statements or putting over your argument, or I'm just green. I'm just going in there just working.
Defending yourself.
Yeah, working off. Well, look, this is the truth. To a certain degree, I think I was batting it all the time because they were throwing the balls. Process. The judge went out and said, right, you know what, I'll be back after lunch and I'm going to make my decision. And then when the judge came back in, I never remember it. The minute he walked in, you stand up and then, you sit down. And as we sat down, her barrister was the closest one to me, maybe 4 seats away. She was next to her barrister. Her solicitor was behind, and her solicitor's PA was beside her. But the second the judge came in and sat down, all 3 of them spontaneously, bam, opened their folders and started getting ready to write notes. So, okay, cool, that's how they're rolling. All right, cool. Judge said, yeah, cool. All right, this case has been brought to this family court in relation to contacts, in relation to the son, but the mother, she's been represented by, her barrister and her solicitors. He said, Banksy, you've acted litigant in person. He said, I commend the way that you have conducted yourself throughout this process. And when he said those words, I'll never forget, because all 3 of them, the barrister, the solicitor, and her PA, even though their heads were down, as he was talking, they was down like scribbling away. The minute he said that, they all spontaneously looked up at the same time. I thought, oh, what's going on here? That's the only thing that made, as much as I appreciated hearing it from the judge, but because he knew, but this guy here, he's here to fight for his son. And regardless of what you say, I got to commend him because he's not taking no rubbish. He's just here for his son. Fantastic.
So what did he give you?
Right. So I think I was seeing my son every Tuesday. It started with, I think it was like 3 hours, and then every other Saturday for maybe like 5 hours, and then that was for like maybe 2 months, and then it progressed. Right, the contact order was made. Right. At that hearing in March, where I was found not guilty, she asked for a 1-year restraining order. That says I can't go to her house. Yeah. So I remember the judge saying to my barrister, well, do you want to appeal it? But no, do you want to I'm saying, fight it because you've been found not guilty? And my barrister asked me, and I said, whatever, I don't really care. I'm not interested in her. I'm just interested in my son. Cool. So there was a 1-year restraining order that was from March 2016 till March 2017. Got my contact. I'm seeing him every Tuesday, every other Saturday. Cool. The restraining order that was in place stated that I can't go to her house. Yeah. But I've been living with her for the last 5 years by that stage. Cool. So I would usually use that road to go from one part of London. If I was going from north to west, I would very likely cut through that area. Cut through that area, end up like because there's no restrictions to me being on the road. It just says I can't go to her house. Near her house is a zebra crossing, only about 3 doors away from her house. But I'm driving down the road. The sun was shining. I could see the silhouette of somebody wanting to cross the zebra crossing. Didn't think nothing of it. Music was playing, had my window wound down. And then as she got to that halfway point, I realized it was her. So, oh shit, okay. You know what I'm saying? And when she saw me, she stopped in the halfway point, because there's like a bollard in the halfway point. She looked at me, she stopped, and then she turned around. So I'm like, okay, cool. She wants to talk, innit? Cool. So I've taken the first right turn, come out the car, and I've walked up to her. And as I've walked up to her, as I got 3, 2, 1 step away from her, by the time I got to 2, bam, she just burst into tears. burst into tears. And I've just I've just held her and consoled her. And she's crying for about 4 minutes. And to me, that was the pressure. That was her offloading the pressure of following her mum, doing what her mum wanted, but she really didn't want to.
Yeah.
But that pressure, when I've just walked up and she's seen me, she just offloaded. You know what I'm saying? So she was crying for about 4 minutes. I've consoled her. Bum, we were talking.
And this is when the thing was in place, yeah?
The restraining order still in place, yeah? So from that point, we're starting to communicate now, innit? On the low now, because she doesn't want her family to know that she's communicating with me, but at the same time, bam. So within a couple of weeks, I'm back in the bed, innit?
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, but it's on the down low because she's trying to play it now like, okay, even when I come, she doesn't want my son to be seeing me all cozy in the yard because anytime she goes to her mum's with my son, he might let rip. I'm saying, because he's only 3.5, 4, whatever, 3 and change. She's like, oh, she can't risk it. So she was like sneaking me in, sneaking me out. I remember one day in particular, we were going to the contact center. I've got out of her bed to go home, to go get changed, to go to the contact center. You know what I'm saying? So it was all, I'm not going to lie, from my point of view, I put my hand on my heart to say, boy, you know what? Even though I did to a certain degree, I let my guard down to a certain, to a certain degree. But for me, that added time with my son, I'll sacrifice anything for that.
No. But listen.
Go on.
She took you to court.
Yeah.
And makes false allegations against you.
Yeah.
And done the whole madness.
Yeah.
You went to court to fight to get your son back, and you're doing what you're doing to go contact center now. And all of you, so you're at that stage.
Yeah.
But then you still went back to the house, sneaking to surface her.
And
so it was. So I know. So was you surfacing her?
Yeah.
Giving her the service because you didn't want no next man to service her. So you was being the baby father to say, "Well, I'm here."
Yeah.
Or was it for your son where you're trying to give her the service? Because you're seeing your son anyway, so that didn't have nothing to do with your son when you're giving her the service, right?
In all fairness, yeah.
Yeah. So it was your needs or her needs.
I was still getting extra time with my son.
Brother.
And that was the paramount thing for me. Because at that age when he's like 3, he's not really...
No, but you can't sit here and tell me, right?
You know what?
You're not going to sit...
It was sweet.
That's what I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm funny enough, Bridget asked me that yesterday. No, it was today. Well, I had a discussion with my Bridget, I was coming on the show, and he said to me, yeah, but boy, you loved that. You were in love with her. And I think that protective nature of me, that protective part of my persona, yeah, there was a part of me that I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I loved the woman, you know what I'm saying? So, not to say, no, you know what? Yeah, on that occasion, I did. I let my guard down way too quick.
And was you seen to be pairing her on a regular basis, or was this thing just a here and a there thing?
It was, at least I'm saying 2-3 times a week I'm in her yard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but as I said, there was a part of me that always felt a little bit of compassion towards her. Feeling that, okay, you know what? She was pushed into this situation by her mum to a certain degree. I'm saying her mum really, it's as if her mum said to her, look, get on the train, bring your son, get on the train. Okay, choo-choo. Her mum was in the front carriage. She said her mum was saying to the solicitor, pump more coal. Pump more coal. You know what I'm saying? She was just pulling the steam. So she lost control of where that train was going and the direction and all of it. And I was aware of that. But yeah, I was maybe looking for an excuse for her, or more maybe looking for an excuse for myself to justify it. Within that time, we must have had an argument. Yeah? We had an argument maybe in February. Brother, 2 weeks later, bam, a summons has dropped to my door. Yeah.
From her or from the mum?
Summons has dropped to my door from the magistrate's court saying, yeah, there's a claim here that you've breached the restraining order. Yeah? So...
You never learn.
This case was brought by her solicitors. Yeah? So anyway, so in February now, we've gone to court. Remember, the restraining order is going to finish in a month from now. Yeah, they've gone to court. Her solicitor saying, "Yeah, you know what, Your Honour, he's breached the restraining order. We want it extended, and we want it, you know what I'm saying, amended so that he can't go on the road. He can't go this. He can't do that. He can't do that." So the judge said, "Hold on, I'm a bit confused because if this man has breached the restraining order, then that should be an issue for the CPS. Why are you bringing this as your private What's going on? Is anybody here from CPS? You see, when they say God is good, my brother, there was this woman, I saw her in the back of the court, but I never paid no mind. She stood up and said, yes, Your Honor, I'm a CPS representative. She said, yes, well, can you shed any light upon this? She said, yes, Your Honor, well, this case was brought to our attention and we sent a police officer around to her house to interview her. Within that interview, she stated, boy, I didn't even want the restraining order in place in the first place. Yes, he comes round. Yeah, I'm comfortable having him here. And boy, we're kind of back together. So true that the police officer couldn't go back to the CPS and said, yeah, look, we got a case against him.
Yeah.
Saying? So when the judge heard that, she was like, well, if that's the issue, if that's the case, and I had to represent myself because I couldn't get no legal aid. So I said, yes, Your Honor, well, I've got proof here in my texts that show that before we had that argument 3 weeks ago, everything was hunky-dory. I've got texts to say we was communicating like normal.
And he's in her bed.
Yeah, you know what? Allow this case, throw it out my court and don't take the mickey.
Of course.
Yeah, so the judge said, no, I'm not going to amend anything. So now that was my wake-up call. That was when I said, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to really watch this woman here.
How many months after from that, when that court case happened?
From that court case now, I'm saying we're not really speaking too tough, but I'm saying it kind of creeps back into communication because with my son just being like I'm saying 3.5, coming up to 4 at that stage, it's like we had to communicate to a certain degree. So it kind of slipped slowly back into that kind of mode. But I did have an arm out. I was like, nah, I got to keep this woman at arm's distance. So by this time now, I'm picking him up every Tuesday. She would leave the keys for her flat in my son's school bag, so that I'll pick him up from nursery. Bam, I'll take him. We might go to the park, to the play center. I'll take him home. I'll cook him dinner, and then get him ready. So as I said, I'm keeping at arm's length for a little while now. So there was one occasion now. It must have been about July. I remember the sun was out again. Me and the sun. It must have been June, July. Yeah, I've let my guard down for a minute. Yeah. So boom, on this one occasion, yeah, we were intimate. Through that period now, through the next few days, I remember saying, so what? Because I hadn't been nowhere near her for coming up a year by this point. So I was like, so what's going on with you? What, you don't see nobody? You know, what? No next man
You're
around?
being nosy.
Yeah. So she's like, well, no, I was on such and such dating site and there was a couple of guys, but yeah, nobody serious and boom. I was all right, cool, no problem. But I'm still keeping her, I'm saying, I haven't gone fully in. I'm letting this guy down very slowly.
Nah, you were doing it to be nosy, man.
God is good, you know. Brother, 3 weeks later, yeah? So after that first initial incident, nothing else has reoccurred, yeah? Because it's only one Tuesday in the week, and then the next week she'll see me on a Tuesday and a Saturday, and the next week she'll just see me on a Tuesday, because I was having him every other Saturday. So on that third week now, I remember I've picked him up on a Tuesday, gone back to the flat. I can't remember what it was. I think it was the European Championships. So England were playing. So she's come home this evening now. Cool. I've fed my son. Yeah, bathed him. He's ready for bed. So she's come home now and she just said, I'm going to go straight to bed with him. I said, yeah, cool. It was common practice for her to come home on those days on a Tuesday and order takeaway. So I'm on the sofa now, bam, I'm getting ready for watch this England game, can't remember who they were playing, boom, and then the buzzer went on the intercom, buzz, but that was normal practice. I'm thinking, oh yeah, maybe she's ordered some food. Yeah. Cool. So I'm sitting on the sofa, yeah, she went to the intercom and I can see her because the way the living room door is, the intercom is right. But anyway, I didn't pay her no mind, I'm watching, getting ready for this England game, G. Okay. She was on the intercom for a minute and then she's gone back to bed. No problem. About 2 minutes later, bzz, 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 intercom's going again. So, so from her living room, because she's on the first floor, you can look out and see the stairs, the front of the building. So I've looked out now and I see a black brother standing out there with flowers in her man. No. Said, what goes on in the dark shall come to light.
So she's servicing, another guy that come to service it that night for you.
So 2-2s now. I look out the window, see a brother standing there with flowers. I'm nosy in it. I'm a nosy guy. Put my shoes on. I've gone downstairs. Open the main door. Open the front door. And he was like, you must. So I'm looking at the brother thinking, who is this guy standing here who I know nothing of? I look pan me, tell me who I am. I said, and you are? He goes, I'm Rupert or Marcus, whatever he said his name was. I'm a friend of my ex, and boom, boom, boom.
Sorry to interrupt the program, but we have to give a shout out to today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is I Love to Party, who does corporate events, birthday parties, weddings. Anyone who's looking for a photo booth, magic mirror booth, 360, make sure you check them out in the link in the description below. Make sure you quote Baby Fathers to get 10% off. All right, so that's today's sponsor. I Love to Party, which you can see on our screen here. Make sure you get at them for 10% off for your next event. Welcome back to the program.
Whoa. Let me stop you there. I said to him, let me stop you there. I said, let me explain something to you. Whatever you and my ex have, nothing to do with me. That's between you and my ex.
Yeah.
So you don't owe me no explanation. Oh yeah, boom, boom, boom there, but you know what I'm saying? Mina had a disagreement and she's not taking my calls. I said, whoa, you don't understand what I'm saying? Not only do I not have to know, I don't want to know. I said, the only reason I'm standing down here is because you're pressing the buzzer and you're keeping my son awake. He goes, I'm a dad too. Oh yeah, I apologize, blah, blah, blah. Look, can you give these to her? I said, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm saying, so take the flowers, and he said, okay, I'm gonna go. I said, no problem. But I'm walking up the stairs thinking, love that, because only a couple of weeks ago I'm asking you, so what going for you? And you're telling me, nothing.
Let me tell you something, kid. Let me tell you about these women. Right? These women will stand there and they will lie through their teeth to make her they got no other guy, not seen no other guy. Yeah, because they like to play this little thing like, if I say like if you ask them or is there anyone around, they like to play, oh no, there's no one around, I haven't been with nobody and all this shit. Yeah, but they really know what they're really getting up to. So you see how my guy got caught slipping now? Yeah? And the funny thing about it, yeah, let me ask you on a serious level.
Mm-hmm.
When his brother came to knock the door and he was coming to the house, would you not even vex? Because
I'll be totally honest with you, Ridler. I was more thankful for the sign that the Most High was showing me.
Okay.
Because
You got your answer. You got your answer.
3 weeks, I'm contemplating now. I'm like, yeah, but so one head is saying to me, nah, look what the woman done to you, man. She take you cool. She lie. She done this. The other shoulder is saying, yeah, but you can mellow it. You know what I'm saying, and then you spend more time with your son. Boom, boom, boom. You can try and get. So
So how do you feel that she's bringing next man to the house after hours and night, and your son's in the yard? So if he's coming to do whatever with your baby mother, you're not going to feel some type of way, even though your son's in the house. Would you not prefer that to happen when the son is not in the house than the son being inside the house?
I think what actually happened in that particular scenario is that they must have gone out on a date, and because this is how she explained it to me after, because again, by that time I've already disconnected. Seeing him was the final. That was what I needed.
The nail in the coffin.
Bam, yeah.
So move forward now.
Am I on this side or that side? And I saw him. Bam! I'm on this side. I'm fully on this side.
Yeah,
now. I'm happy.
yeah.
I'm happy. Lord, thank you for the sign. And boom, at least I know where I am. So I class that as a sign. I was happy.
Okay.
To be honest with you, because now it cleared my head. I know where I'm at. No more confusion.
Yeah.
So whatever she's I think, but the way she explained it to me is that they went out on 1 day or 2 days, they're talking, boom, boom. She's not really into him. She's trying to back him off. But because when they went out on that date, he dropped her home. He now knows where she lives and blah, blah. That's what she told me. To be honest, I don't even care.
Yeah.
I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing is what you do. I'm not for my business. Because once I've cut you off, once I've let go of you, cut you off, but I can cut you cold. A month to maybe 6 weeks later, she's moving from one flat. She's now moving out of that flat into a new flat. Yeah? Boom, I'll take down a chandelier, this. I help them say, pack this, pack that. I help her out, innit? It's my baby mother still.
I'm not turning around because I would do the same thing.
Yeah, it's standard.
You understand?
If I make my baby mother's life easier, then that makes my son's life easier. That's the way I'm checking it.
100.
But at this stage now, she's realised, oh, this fucker's cut me cold. So there's no...
It's a straight
bump. It's a straight interaction.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you because helping you is helping my son.
And
I didn't say it, but that's my mentality. But I'm saying I've got no interest in you. What do you need me to do?
Cold shoulder.
What do you need me to do? I'm saying cool. She's moved into the new flat. She's there for 2 weeks. Bam. Me and my son are playing bow and arrow. Yeah. And there is a picture. So we're sitting on a sofa, and there is a picture. As I dropped the keys, the picture dropped and smashed. Bam! So now and the picture was maybe 10 to 12 feet away from me at the time. My son is sitting on a sofa. He's about the same 10 to 20, and she's behind him in the open plan kitchen. So we all saw that nobody was near the picture when it dropped. I'm saying. So then the woman starts shouting at me, get out, I want you out. I'm thinking, calm down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all see what happened. But because my son's sitting on the sofa and she was behind him. So as she's shouting coming forward, whereas I'm standing in front of my son, I can see him kind of flinching on the sofa. I'm saying, listen, all right, just calm down. She picked up a dressing gown that was hanging over the back of the sofa, bam, whack me in my face with it. I was like, what? I walk around the sofa, I stood right in front of her. I said to her, how many times have I told you not to bring no violence to me? How many times? Looked down at her son and said to him, son, call the police, son. So when she said that, we're both standing there behind the sofa, but she was standing in front of me, so I'm facing this way. But when she said that, my head went to my right, which is looking straight at my son in the face. And my jaw just dropped, like cartoon. When he said the jaw drop, the tongue roll out, and I'm saying, I'm in shock. I said, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I saw red. So let me ask you
a question though.
Go on.
Why do you seem to keep on putting yourself back in these kind of situations when you know what she's capable of doing?
I'll be honest with you. This whole scenario that I'm even relaying right now, one of the most poignant or important parts for me of the whole story is that moment when me and my son was loved up on the sofa. Because I'm saying, they say when your time's up, when the Grim Reaper come for you and your time's up, your life flashes in front of you. But that'll be one of them moments or one of them, you know what I'm saying, that I remember and chuckle and smile. I'm saying, so those valuable moments with my son.
So you're putting yourself in these situations for your son, but not realizing you're not safeguarding yourself.
I wasn't. In all fairness, I wasn't. And that situation showed me that, I really wasn't. Because so when she threw the bike down the stairs, I've rushed her and I've just literally grabbed her by the shoulders and pinned her against the wall and said, listen, just stop fucking about with me. You know what I'm saying? At which point, when I did that, I didn't shout. My son started crying. And it was someone threw a bucket of ice water over me because instantly I forgot all about her. I was like, what? I turned around and I went back into the hallway and I dropped to my knees and I held my son and said, look, son, I'm really sorry. Me and my son went out and then boom, we had a great afternoon and then boom. And I remember even specifically stopping in the park with him and saying, boy, you know what, son, mummy and daddy were naughty. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes adults act, they do naughty things. And I specifically thought to myself, don't blame her. Don't put shit, it's not all, you know what I'm saying, but don't blame nobody. Just say it for what it is. I'm saying, adult was sorry, mum and daddy being naughty, and I left it at that. Came back from the park, on the way, when I hit her road, boom, I could see from further up, there's a police car opposite her house, I'm saying. So I've gone to the yard, knocked the door, bam, she's come out, said goodbye to my son, gave him a hug, gave him a kiss, boom, see you later, boom, and I turned and I walked up, I went about my business. All right, cool. So the Saturday, I'm supposed to have contact with him. The Saturday, I've phoned her phone, she's not picking up. I said, I'm going to the yard. Went to the yard, got to the yard, no sign of her. Her car's not there, she's not there. So I said, allow this. I've had enough of this. I've got a court order in place. So I phoned 50. So I said, boy, you know what? I want the fact that she's breaching the order, I want it recorded. So I phoned the police. So they said, oh yeah, cool. 2 police officers will turn up. Half hour later, 2 police officers turn up. So cut a long story short, again, sorry mate, she pipped you to the post. She made an allegation of assault on a few days before. So I'm there saying to the police officer, well, look, boom, this is what I'm very candid with him. But sorry, mate, we got a nick here. So here we go again, deja vu. All right. And you're right, I've got to take responsibility because it was my decisions. I made my decision.
And you didn't learn.
I didn't, to be honest with you. But as I say it then, and I say it again, the most poignant moment for me of that day was the minute that the times when me and my son was, saying, loved up on the sofa. I'm saying.
So before, you used to complain that it was her mum who was... what's that word? Infrastructuring this whole relationship. But now she's phoning the police by herself.
Yes.
So it's no longer the mother.
So times are changing. No, not even things are changing, but I mean, okay. I've realised we're at a point now where, boom. But even I didn't even have to make a decision to say, okay, well, we're at that point where we got to cut it. No, I didn't even have to make a choice. She made that choice by the process. So even though I'm supposed to be seeing him Tuesdays and Saturdays, I'm picking him up at school every Tuesday. Now, she started making it an issue for me to pick him up at school. She's told the school, no, I don't want him picking him up. Yeah, because there's a court case pending. So the school, because she works at my son's school. Oh, maybe I didn't throw that in earlier on. Yeah, she worked at my son's school. So cool. All right. So now I'm going to my son's school and I'm communicating with the school saying, look, I'm coming to pick up my son on this day. But is everything cool? And they're saying, look, unfortunately, but she stated that. And I said, well, listen, I've got a court order that states that this is when I have contact with my son. If you have anything that supersedes that, if you've got anything that's more higher than that, then I'll roll with it.
Of course.
Or show it to me and I'll roll with it. But if you haven't, then stop taking the mickey out of me. I've got my court order. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. So yeah, anyway, cut a long story short, gone to court. By this time, I'm suffering fatigue from this process. I'm saying, because I'm not seeing my son and I'm more fighting on the family court to see my son. I'm fighting. So this criminal case now, yeah, I've gone into court and said, yeah, look, the judge said to my barrister, he's more or less admitted it. Now, if he goes not guilty, which I had gone up until that stage, if he goes not guilty and he's found guilty, I can whack him 30% harder.
Yeah.
Now, to save yourself from getting whacked the 30%, don't you want to just, I'm saying, and I remember I at that time I said, you know what, I can't be arsed with this. I said, yeah, guilty, bam, bam, bam.
So what did you plead guilty to?
Common assault.
So that's not going to be on your record.
Yeah.
If you knew he wasn't that deep, why did you plead guilty? That's a question I can ask you.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. I mean, I'm not, at some point, to be a man is the ability to, yeah, take the accolades and take the preps when you've done something right. But also to stand up and say, boy, put your hand up and be counted when you've done something wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my behavior, I can put my hand on my heart to say, well, the crime doesn't fit the punishment. You know what I'm saying? The woman assaulted me first. As I said, she grabbed the dressing gown and whipped me in my eye with it. But yet, all I did was grab her by her shoulders and I'm saying, says, well, look, just calm down. Stop fucking around with me. I'm saying. And then that's it. But yeah, boom, I'm being held up like, okay, yeah, DV. And that DV, once you've got that domestic violence banner, yeah, they'll take you to the cleaners.
Go on.
Okay, cool. Domestic violence, common assault. Okay, cool. So that's on my record now. So now she's using that to stop me from seeing my son. I'm saying. She got a 5-year restraining order put in place.
And how far is that restraining order?
To now.
Now, how far? Like when she got a restraining order, what's
so she got the restraining order that says I can't go to her house.
Okay.
Yeah? Can't
How
go
many
to her
feet?
road. The whole road. From top to bottom. If I'm on that road, you're nicked.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So I'm going to the school to pick up my son, blah, blah, blah. Remember, she works at the school. So now she's trying to make it difficult. She wants to make it difficult. So she said to the school, yeah, you know what? No, I don't want him picking him up. So that's when I got the 6 CAD numbers. Yeah, cool. Now what she's done is, whereas I'm communicating with the school and I'm saying to them, look, I don't want to have police escort me to come pick up my son, blah, 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 blah. She's now claimed that, I'm being disruptive with the school. So she's gone back to the court and said, look, can we extend the restraining order? So whereas before it was just my road, I want it around the school as well because that's my place of work. But that's where my son goes to school. But they said, yeah, all right, cool, you're in. Now she's got the restraining order around the school. So I can't pick up my son from the school. So I've got to use a third party. So my daughter is now picking him up from the school to outside. I'm outside of that zone where I can't be. She brings him to bum. We all go out, have a lovely day. Yeah, boom. She does the handover. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, cool.
So about dropping him home?
Designated point.
Okay.
Meet her at a designated point. Yeah, she'll be there at that time. Yeah, we'll go there, drop my son off, good to go. 3 days later, I'm a stubborn guy, me. I'm a stubborn guy.
Why you say that?
3 days later, bam. Now, what the court order said was that if she takes my son away, She has to leave details of where she's going, how long she's going for, hotel, blah, blah, blah. So I've got the hotel. She's in Spain now. I've just finished this case, not guilty, all charges dropped. Cool. 3 days, so I'm banging my head against the wall. 3 days later, I said, screw this. Called her hotel. Yeah? She picked up the phone. Said, hello? I said, yeah, I want to speak to Baba. She said, he's sleeping. So when will I be able to speak to him? I don't know, I've got to go. Bye. Put the phone down. All right, cool. She come back from Spain. I found out that, yes, she'd come back from holiday and gone to the police and said, yeah, he made that phone call. Bam. They said, yeah, that's a breach, yeah. Out for your arrest. Here we go. I've surrendered myself to a police station, gone to court. Judge gave me some, yeah, put your hand out, yeah, slap the back of my wrist, said, all right, cool. Community service, this, that, whatever the case may be. Said, all right, cool, I've taken that. Next time I saw my son was, so that was in 2019. Next time I saw my son was in 2021.
So almost 2 years later.
Yeah.
Do you find that you seem to always put yourself in a situation when it's coming to the mum, where you seem to always be getting all these things getting thrown at you where you're going to jail, or I want to say jail, but you're going to you're getting arrested, and then from arrested, then you're on bail, then from on bail, you have to go to court to either plead guilty or not. You don't find that's just too much for yourself, just for the sake of fighting to see your child, because you are putting certain things in place and the courts are giving you your certain rights. But for somehow you seem to be getting yourself in situations where you don't really need to get yourself in them situations. But you seem to be putting yourself in these situations because of this woman.
I struggle to see an injustice and stand by. And fair enough, two wrongs don't make a right. And it took me a while to realize in this process that, okay, well, she can do wrong and still not be penalized. I cannot do wrong without being penalized.
But would you not base that, is this love was making you keep proceeding to run around?
No, it wasn't about, as I said, even that phone call, as I relayed that phone call to you just now, that's exactly what was said on the day. All I want, so I don't.
But even still what you want and what's actually being put in place, remember, these rules are being put in place for a reason. So when you went to court and you asked that you want to see your son every other Tuesdays and Saturdays, that's what the court issued. So she had to follow that.
She wasn't.
No, but she had to.
But she wasn't.
Okay, but here what happened now. Because you're not following from that situation, you're doing your own thing after. So you're giving her that card to run back on you, why she doesn't have to follow that procedures. Is that making sense?
Definitely. Yeah, of course. Of course. I tied
so you're allowing her to draw you. Yeah, you're allowing her to draw you. I was
tying myself up in knots. Yeah. Because I'm seeing injustices. I'm thinking, because even at that stage where I made that phone call to her when she was in Spain, I hadn't seen my son for
how many months? Yeah.
3 months at that stage. So I'm there thinking, well, she's breaching. Fair enough, she's using this court case as an excuse to stop my contact. I'm saying, but she's in breach of the family court order.
100%.
So I'm sitting there knocking my head, banging my head
but
against the wall.
But you're supposed to go back to the court.
Right.
And tell them that this is what's happened. Obviously, we don't know if the court, sometimes we hear some stories that the court don't follow through with certain things. But as long as it's documented down. And let me ask you a quick question. Where is it at right now in regarding to your son and seeing him? Where is it right now?
There was a court case last month. So, no, there was a court case in last year, June. And in that court case, the judge stipulated, I can't have any direct contact with my son. I can only have indirect contact.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's letters, cards, so forth. So
you're not allowed to see him in a contact center, nothing?
Nothing. No contact. Yeah, they start telling you about safeguarding. So because of my behaviour, which I've got to take responsibility for in relation to breaching a restraining order in the past, now they're weaponising that against me, innit? So even though they said to me, well, look, go and do this course and go and do that course. So went to court in 2021 and the judge said, right, no direct contact, only indirect. Yeah, you've got to do this, this and this. So since then, I went and did that and that. Yeah. And then I put my application and brought it back to court saying, look, I've done that and that. So there was a hearing about a month ago. And the judge held up and said, no, I'm not happy that you've done that and that. Boom. And now I'm going to uphold no, only indirect contacts and so forth and so forth. The indirect contacts, i.e. the letter writing process that was established last year, I had written 3 letters to him. Now, the judge had said, well, you can't write letters that are too emotional for him. And you can't say that you're going to see him soon. And you can't say blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, cool. So anyway, I had written 3 letters to him since last year. And not one of those letters did she give to him. She said, that one's too emotional, that one's too emotional, that one's too emotional. I said, all right, cool. So when I went to court last month and the judge said, all right, cool, boom, indirect contacts only. 3 days later, I said, all right, cool. The last letter that I wrote to him that she said was too emotional, I took out all the bits that she said was too emotional and I resent that letter. Wrote to her solicitor and I said, I want confirmation that she's going to send it. And the solicitor wrote me a few days later, said, yeah, she's going to give it to him. Yeah, cool. Up to now, I don't get no reply. So cut a long story short, what I'm going to do, the court order says I can write to him every month. Every month I'm going to write to my son. Every month.
And when are they telling you when is the next hearing, if this one
They
failed?
haven't set a date. So what at the last hearing, she asked for an order. It's called Section 9114, which means that I'm banned to a certain degree from bringing any applications to the family court for 3 years without a judge checking it over first to decide whether or not there's merit in that application.
All right. Obviously, time is up. So what I'm going to say to you is, of all the story that you have said to me today, what have you learned from this whole process? What you could advise other fathers?
One of the most defining factors, or one of the most things that I think keeps me going, or has been a major element, is for me knowing that the final judge, juror, and arbiter of these whole processes is going to be your child. So even though some mothers will try to brainwash their child and tell them, yeah, your dad's this, your dad's that, or you know what I'm saying, he did this or he did that, at some point, the child is going to come to a stage of either realization or confrontation, where they confront you and say, well, this is what I've been told and this is what I'm saying. So for me, I know that it's been paramount that all the cases, all the files, all the claims, I'm saying I've got my I've kept everything. I've kept everything. So I mean, when the day comes, God willing, when the day comes that my son stands in front of me and says, well, Dad, what did you do? How did you fight against it? Or how did you prove that you want to be? I'm saying I can put my hand on my heart and say, yeah, but you know what, son, I fought with all my heart and might.
What do you acknowledge about yourself then, and self-reflection?
Yeah, I'm there's a very stubborn streak in me. I refuse to bow to the system to a certain degree. I refuse to acknowledge or see an injustice and sit down and say, boy, yeah, I'm just going to stomach it. But at some point, I have to acknowledge that you can't fight against the system if it's detrimental to yourself.
100.
So if I'm saying, well, that's wrong, and me pointing to that saying it's wrong is going to break my finger, ain't no good for me. So you got to know how to, maneuver yourself within this process. And I remember I saw David sitting in here. I saw, as I said, the guy advised that, yeah, you know what, guys, it's about that self-reflection. The help that it's out there, I think, is kind of sketchy.
Of course.
You've got to dig for it to really find it. So, I mean, bringing that. But anyway, yeah, the help is sketchy. What have I learned? That, yeah, you know what, you can only bang your head against a brick wall a certain amount of times before you're going to give yourself concussion.
All right, Banks, listen, I want to say thank you for coming on today's show.
My pleasure, G.
All right, listen, I want to hear your lot's views today on today's show. It's been a different show. I want to hear your views in the comments below. So for myself, DJ Ridler, Baby Fathers, and Banks, till next time, peace, and we out, man.